Yeah,
Hey, man,
so
got to improve the value of this place.
hell yeah. Well, it's you're like a responsible adult now with a mortgage and
Yeah,
but I like the new office. It looks it's all
it's not
fancy.
bad. Yeah, it's a good place to get away from fuckery at large.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
I got to change my captions. I don't know if the Wilsons are going to join us or not. I guess if they do, they do.
if they
But
do, they do. If they don't, they they're missing out.
well, they're probably having fun somewhere. If I was to guess,
I've never not had fun with those two, so I can only imagine how much fun they have on
my
their own.
I was I say you've hung out with them a couple more times than I have, but like Elko last year was one for the ages, and there was nobody there. But son of a bitch, was it fun?
Oh, we there were people there at the Star after the gig. We went down the street to the Star, and we're sitting there, and
Yeah,
it's just a it's like the testosterone rodeo in there, and Matt and Rachel and I were just kind of like, uh-huh, uh-huh. And you're just like you're shuttling Coors Lights back and forth from the bar as fast as we can drink them, or Coors, I don't know, Yellow Jackets, and
yeah,
we're watching these fights go down, and Matt's like, why, why these guys must be like 20?
yeah. I've
They're hell bent
never.
on getting on a fight.
It's one of those deals where like I realized how old I was. I was just like, man,
Yeah,
I I just don't get that anymore.
that's what's nice about playing music is you can hang out in the bars, but you don't have to like be a barfly.
Yeah,
So you still get the social
yeah,
aspect, but you're getting paid to be there, and you're getting to do something you love. And actually, when I play music, I don't drink as much because I'm playing. So per time spent, the beer amount goes down, which is nice,
yeah.
unless they're
There you
buying,
go.
and then it goes up.
Yeah, well, obviously, I will say you've really kind of honed in that beard look. We were giving you a hard time last year. Like you were kind of you had like a baby beard, and
Yeah,
it's really filled in nice. Like it's you've
yeah. Who
grown
knew?
into it. Yeah.
Well, I
So
told Amanda, I
congrats on
said,
that.
well, thank you. I told Amanda it was like I don't know, April, and I said, all right, I'll grow it out until my birthday, which is June 7th. And I said, by my birthday, if it's not working out, this thing's going away. And then, you know, kept going on, and it started coming in and filling in a little bit in spots that I didn't think it would. And I was like, shit, just gonna keep it. Well,
It's that red. The red just it just kind of fills in. I don't know what
it's
it
two
is. It's the
tone.
luck of the Irish, I guess.
I'm two
Is
tone.
that what? Yeah,
I'm like
I
a
think that
'90s
might be what.
panel. Go ahead.
You should spike it like Guy Fieri too.
Welcome to Flavor Town, bitches.
Flavor.
Yeah, no,
There
I'm like a '90s
wasn't
panel
there
van,
yeah, yeah. Wasn't
which
there
is
a petition to change the name of Columbus, Ohio to Flavortown because that's where Guy Fieri's from? I
I don't know, but I'd
I
sign it.
I heard I heard it on the Drinking Bros, and it was one of those ones I always want. I meant to go check and to see where because they do a pretty good job of trolling sometimes,
Oh
and
yeah.
so it's like, but I could also see that being true, and like I should go check. But I also don't want to be trolled, so I'm not gonna do it. But I want it to be real. It's like Science Squatch. I want it to be real.
Yeah. If Sasquatch was real, I'd probably have seen him by now, living in where I live. So
Well, see, you didn't come on the podcast for the whole Science Squatch theory,
oh,
though.
Science Squatch, you cut out. Sorry.
Science Squatch.
Explain Science Squatch.
Well, and I'm now granted this is a theory that it's still a pretty young theory, but you always hear about these guys that get abducted by aliens, but you never hear about Sasquatch getting abducted by aliens. And what if, like, when the Sasquatch got abducted, like the alien and the Sasquatch fought to like a draw, and then finally the alien's like, all right, you got some spirit to you, so I'll give you all this technology. And so all these weird coincidences, like I don't know, a virus that came from a bat that
that sounds made up.
from a lab.
That sounds more made up than Sasquatch.
Do you know when the Wuhan Institute of Virology made their biggest jumps in vaccine research and whatnot?
Mm-mm.
It was late 70s through the 80s. And do you know when they called off the search for the infamous Wuhan ape man? 1979.
I'm guessing late 70s, 80s. Ooh, that was a good year. I wasn't alive, but it was a good year.
I have a feeling that Anthony Fauci is a science squatch, and he has a relative of some sort from Wuhan. I don't know. There's something there. I'm telling you. But like I said, it's still.
I think Anthony Fauci's a puppet.
Well, he might be, but that's.
I don't even think he exists.
Want you to believe.
I think he's a deep fake.
Might not. Like a bird.
My long-standing theory on alien technology, like UFO sightings and whatnot. This has no. I'm not a scientist. This has no backing, but you know, at night when you are under the influence and you stare at the stars and you start thinking of all the crazy shit you could ever think of. Well, I came up with one that actually stuck with me, and it's that aliens are not from other planets, but they're from so far in the future that there's nothing left to do except vacation by going back in time. And there's rules, man. You can't be seen. So we can't be heard.
We are like
fuck up.
We're like the 80s cafe of the future.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we're 80s cafe Club Penguin.
yeah, right. We're like Sonic, except like when Sonic first opened, when they're playing like doo wop, yeah. and roller skating around.
Yeah. Exactly. And so they get to hover around in these little observational platforms that come around, and that's why every major history event that you hear of, there's also a coincidence of sightings, you
may have something there, but what if that's just a very advanced race of Sasquatches that are controlling this time travel?
I'm not saying that's not. But what if our DNA and the Sasquatch DNA was actually combined? Like, so say in Wuhan they had a furry convention and Sasquatch could just roam freely.
Well, if there's going to be a furry convention, it's either going to be Tokyo or Wuhan.
Right. So we're talking a furry convention in Wuhan. Sasquatch can roam freely because everybody thinks he's just Jack Lynx. And then there's some interspecies breeding, seed takes hold. Now we've got a species with the evasiveness of a Sasquatch, but the intelligence of a human being. Tell me that beast couldn't figure out time travel.
Well, here's the thing though, but what if that Sasquatch had already mated with an alien life form? Now we're talking some real weird, funky shit. Mm-hmm. Question though.
Mm-hmm.
Within the furry community, does back hair help or no? I mean,
help with what?
With the furriness. I don't know. Like, is that more or less of a turn on in the furry community?
Now we're out of my area of expertise. I can talk about aliens, but I can't talk about what motivates a furry.
You can't talk about furries?
Well, I can't.
I mean, it does beg the question, though.
But let's put this out to your viewers and your listeners. If anybody out there wants to drop an anonymous and steer us in the right direction without outing yourself. We don't want to dox you, but we're very curious as to, like what makes people
Oh,
want to fuck
somebody
a
said,
pox.
"Mate, don't rule out the time traveling Nazis so soon." Oof. I never thought about time traveling Nazis.
I don't think about
That's
Nazis at all.
well that. Okay. Um, yeah, that puts another wrinkle in time there, if you will. Time traveling Nazis. That would be something. That would.
Man, that sounds like a Call
But
of Duty game to me.
well, going back to our off-air conversation, Sam, in Operation Paperclip, we'll find out that like basically all of modern rocket technology stemmed from the Nazis, and so like all the ICBMs that were built either by the Russians or the U.S. That was all stolen Nazi technology. Like for whatever reason, the Nazis were really fucking good at rockets, like real good.
Got to be good at something.
Yeah, I mean they were good at a lot of stuff. The way they got there, not so great. Their research was not really OSHA approved.
No, it's still bad. Like people still don't like them.
No, yeah, they're really put a stain on the word Nazi.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really put a bad spin on
Thank,
that
thank
whole
God Gen
ideology.
Z is kind of dulling that word for us by calling everybody a
Have,
Nazi.
if there is one thing Gen Z or the I generation or whatever is good, is they are very good at nerfing shit. Like they'll just nerf the fuck out of everything. Everything is soft. Everything is soft.
Yep, I know.
Did you
It's like
see
Bill.
the Patton Oswalt thing the other day?
Oh, where he looks like was it with him and Chappelle?
Yeah, and
Sam
he
Lighty sent me that meme. I think it was like
well
him and
well he looks bad. I mean he does not he didn't ever look great, but he didn't age well. And but he used to be really funny, and then he got like
he still is
super progressive. Like if he's trying to be funny and not preachy, he's funny.
Yeah.
But he's just more preachy. And
yeah, I feel like he fell into the trap of like low hanging fruit comedy, which is like current events, and current events are it's just low hanging. And current events include politics or viruses, whatever. And like Dana Carvey, like we went to see Dana Carvey and John Lovitz live in Vegas, and like John Lovitz, great, hilarious. Dana Carvey, all about Trump, all about it's just kind of exhausting. It's like if you want to alienate all the people in this room that like Wayne's World,
right? Well, and like if you're gonna do, just be funny. That's the thing is like don't go for the low hanging fruit because that's what everybody does. So like there's a way to talk about current events and still be funny. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. That's the whole. I mean, isn't that the point of comedy is to be funny? Like, you're
so they say.
You're supposed to say the thing that nobody else or everybody was thinking, but you say it in a way that everybody laughs, and laughter is involuntary. So like, funny is funny. Like, if somebody laughs, that's an involuntary reaction. So like, no matter what you think of it, that was funny. And if nobody laughs, well, it ain't funny. And like if everybody's trying to get the claps and not the laughs. Like Rogan talks about that, and I don't know. It's like that's what people go to church for, is to.
But also, like I'm fully aware that everybody on this planet has a different sense of humor. I know that because I test the boundaries of my own often, and like you're not going to have everybody. Some people want the grandstanding. Some people want the people who are like funny but really just humble bragging. I personally like self-deprecating humor.
Yeah.
And when people make fun of themselves, that to me is like that's you know, no, that's the money for me. I just like when people
Yeah.
make fun of themselves instead of other people. It's like a little less holier now.
Yeah. I do like I self-deprecating humors. I mean that's my bread and butter. I'm good at that. I've got a lot to make fun of. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's just when it's like all the late night shows. I haven't seen what Dana Carvey's putting out, but man, that guy used to be really funny. But like if you know what the punchline's gonna be before you get there, like that's not the sign of a good comic.
Right.
Like we were talking about South Park. Like even though you know where South Park's gonna go, like you know somehow Cartman's gonna be the bad guy in there. How they get there is what makes it funny. Like and it's
Mm-hmm.
usually you don't see it coming. Like like or at least there's something in there that you don't see coming, and that's
My
the sign
favorite
of good comedy.
my favorite example of that in their show in South Park is the episode where they outlawed the KFC gravy and they made weed legal in Colorado at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And you see these two things happening, and then South Park, Matt and Trey just kind of like make them coincide. And the point where they coincide, like they're sitting there outside a dispensary that used to be a KFC, and Randy and all his friends are bouncing around on their hippity hops with picket signs. And there's a news reporter saying something about how this situation some might call ridiculous. It's like it's completely ridiculous. Or like the episode with where Randy's trying to take the biggest turd, and when he's
Yeah.
looking at the sonogram of it, across the bottom they just have to scroll Emmy award winning TV
Yeah.
show or Grammy award winning TV show.
Yeah, it's Emmy award winning show, and then like they, for his trophy, they just stick it in. It's an Emmy, and they stick it in the giant piece of shit.
I mean, it's like that. It's like that point of clarity that they bring to the show right near the end when
Yeah,
it all comes together. Where you're just like kind of like we were talking about with that climate change movie. It's like they kind of hit you
yeah,
over the face with it, but it's funny and it makes you realize how ridiculous it is. Whereas in Leo DiCaprio's movie, it hits you over the face with it, and it's like, oh, all right, well, there's an hour of my life I'll never get back.
and you're just like, oh yeah, you had a chance to make a really funny movie with like a fucking excellent cast,
Yeah,
and you just made it preachy, and you made it preachy.
because same thing as the comedians. Some they wanna sit there and we'll say pat themselves on the back, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would use
but
other terms for that. But
I was just like, man, it is so back to the Patton Oswald thing. He posts a picture of him and his friend Dave Chappelle, who they've known each other for 30 something years. Like what came up in the DC comedy clubs together, and because a bunch of trans people got, and probably not even a bunch. It's probably like 6 trans people that got upset
6 to 8
at him
trans people.
On Twitter, and they called him a bunch of names, and then he has to go apologize. You're like, is there not one shred of manhood left in you to where you can't say no? Fuck you. I did a guest spot with my friend who happens to be arguably the greatest fucking comedian of all time on New Year's Eve. That's pretty fucking rad. I'm going to take a picture of it because he's my goddamn friend.
Yeah.
That's what I would have said. But no, this guy's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know who I was going to hurt. Fuck off.
Yeah, he's probably
January
got
3rd, and you already qualified for Biggest Bitch of the Year finalist.
I mean, he strikes me as the kind of guy that would do that if he didn't have something to lose. So he's probably, I don't know, he's probably got like a movie deal or Ratatouille 5 or whatever he's got in the hopper.
Whatever.
Like that kind of behavior
Probably, but still.
makes me think he's in bed with Disney or something. Because like all those
Well,
Disney superheroes, they're all squeaky clean.
no, yeah. Well, you don't have to be squeaky clean. You just have to be on the right side of the progressive agenda. You can be as dirty as you want as long as you're on the right side of that progressive agenda.
Then how do you explain Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt's conservative.
Right. But he speaks about that
He's
often. He speaks about God and his country all often.
um, as far as like Disney goes,
Yeah. I mean,
he's also pretty non-existent on social media. Like he used to
that's
like
true.
do some hunting stuff, but like you just don't see much of him
Maybe
until
that's the
he's in a
key.
movie. Might be.
Maybe that's the key. If you want to be a public figure and everybody's on the internet and they follow you, maybe you got to get the hell off there.
Maybe. I see. I dwell in the cess though, and
You thrive.
I'm the trash man.
You're like an orchid that blooms out of piles of shit.
That's right. I mean, I literally live in shit all day long. I work in a feedlot.
Oh,
So like
I've been to your work. I know. There's
the
two
shit
2 feet of shit in January.
the shit does not phase me. I live in the shit.
I remember I was on whatever mare that was that you had out there, Clara.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I stepped off of her for a second, and I just went.
Oh yeah. It's worse right now. We got no, I guess it's pretty comparable to when you came in last year because we got about 18 inches of snow that night.
Yeah, so much that you didn't even know how to get home.
Oh shit! Like I was telling Ro, because yeah, there was a building with a light on that neither one of us saw.
No, neither one of us.
And that's
well, I was fresh off a damn plane and one Coors Light in. I was just ready to relax. I didn't know where the hell we were. I don't know Northern Nevada.
No, not at all. But yeah, it was coming down so hard.
It was pretty bad.
You couldn't see, and so there's a Y in the road right there, and like the Heyday Inn has a little light right there, but we're not supposed to go past. Like we're supposed to take the Y.
And we definitely did not.
Just didn't see it. Like it was.
We got stuck in a
hard.
ditch.
Yeah. Well, not stuck. We stopped.
Just a little bit.
We stopped in a ditch. We got out just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. The old Suburban pulled through.
Yeah, but yeah, that was right coming up on a year ago. So in that spirit, shit, man, we got about 3 weeks till Elko, and I'm stoked. It sounds like there's gonna be some people in Elko this year, and there's actually some shit going on. And
yeah,
but
I know
it's good
to outside
be there
circles
on the
happening.
Ground floor. Outside circles happening. The
which
Folk Life Center is actually gonna do something, I guess. But I was really looking forward to having the Wilsons on because she's been talking to some people. And so, but I don't know exactly what all they've got lined up. But she was trying to set up some other like open mic type deals around Elko.
Cool.
So, but I don't know what all came of that.
The stage door was phenomenal to us last year, and I'm
they're
really
awesome.
stoked.
They're excited.
Good, yeah. I mean, I texted Emily a little bit. And, I got the same vibe, and I don't know. I'm just the way that we were treated in Elko last year was top notch.
Yeah, it was really.
And to get to play a club like that during COVID was pretty freaking cool from my standpoint. And I had just come off of not playing really anything because of mass hysteria.
Well, and it was one of those things. I'd been planning that deal for a while, but at a completely different venue. And the guy was, we'd talked before, and he's like, "Well, let's see what it's like." And he's like, "Man, I don't think anybody's going to be here." He said, "I don't want to. I don't even want to bother with it." And so, like, I got where he was coming from, but I was like, "Man, it just seems." And I told Sam, I said, "I'm gonna try this one place and see." But I said, if I don't hear back from them, my Elko's off.
Mm.
And yeah, and Emily there at the stage door, she got back to me, and fuck, they treated us really, really good. I mean,
Yeah.
like we didn't have a big crowd, but shit, we had 50 people on Saturday at one point,
Yeah, it
and
was standing room for a little bit there.
For nothing going on in Elko, it was not a bad little crowd, and so
And Magic
now
Mike.
that people are, yeah, Magic Mike. My dad said since we couldn't guarantee Magic Mike, he couldn't guarantee that he was going to be there.
That's his guarantee. He needs a short
No,
haul trucker on shrooms to come.
he I know it. No, he had a lot of fun, but the drive was a little much for him last year.
Yeah.
And Ron, Ron's had some health issues this year, so
That's too bad.
They went ahead and bowed out. But that was something special for me. I know you guys and the Wilsons had a good time, but like I got introduced by my old man. That was the first show that I've ever put on, and I got my dad to introduce me, so that was pretty fucking rad. And just like we had that little family vibe going on, between us and the Wilsons and Jake, and it was just, it was just cool. It was something.
Pretty sure Gilbert Godfrey was there too.
Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey made an appearance both nights, I believe. I might have to resurrect Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, he's coming back.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Eric messaged me back. I messaged him to was it today or yesterday, something like that, and because I was like, man, I'm gonna have to start writing a few more jokes or poems or something to help, so you guys don't carry the whole show. But yeah. So Eric,
I've got big shoulders, man.
Yeah, I know. I know how you like to take things over. So it'd be. I'm just teasing.
Matt, there's leaders and there's followers.
Yeah, that's why you were playing at my show. No, I said it last year. Like I had no business being on stage with you guys. I was just color commentary guest, but it was fun.
Oh, I love that poem you wrote about the Mustang mare.
I think I'll bring that one back out. I've got a couple poems from some of the listeners that I want to read, and I'm working on. I've got I'm gonna try to do like a tight 5-minute stand up bit to open it.
Is Ro gonna let you?
Yeah. Well, I haven't told her.
So Ro, if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not at this point.
No, she doesn't listen, so that's why I can say it.
Yeah.
No, I'll keep it. I'll keep it R. I won't go into like typical bull session banter. Like I'll keep it. Kind of bump up against that line, but like it's it'd be an adult show, but not a.
It'll be like the version of Team America they show on TV.
Yeah, I'll be the TNT version. TNT mediocre comedy.
Ted Turner's outlet for I don't know where that joke's going.
Ted Turner's retarded Western cousin.
I'm pretty sure Ted Turner is Ted. Never mind. Sorry, he owns like half the land in the state where I grew up, so we've got a lot of jokes.
Yeah, I know it. Well, and then Taylor Sheridan owns the other half now, right?
Oh, that's right. He bought Quad 6, right?
Yeah, he bought the 4.6s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much stake he has in that. I don't know if he's like the marketing face of it, or I know it's like a big conglomerate that bought it, but
yeah, it's that's the way of the ranch these days. You get big enough to get bought, or you get small enough to get absorbed. So
we got a question about your hat. What's your hat?
Who's
Sam
asking?
Mighty Band.
Mm-hmm.
DC Amp 3211 on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. Gotcha. I'm not seeing any comments on
Yeah.
Facebook. So these are my buddies, all of them in the band, Sam Lighty Band. We actually played a show with them on New Year's Eve over in Washington.
Nice.
And
Sam,
those guys.
You can come, other Sam Lighty, you can come on the podcast as soon as I get one of those hats.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
or the promise of a hat. You promise me a hat, Sam Lighty, and you can come on the podcast.
I think he already agreed to come on the podcast because we were talking about doing like a speakeasy at some point, or just having the speakeasy boys on.
Well, I'm revising my my statement there.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, he said he'll mail me one. All right, you're back. Sam Lighty's back in.
Is he watching?
Yeah, he
Still
is. Yeah, he just commented. So,
well, son of a gun. Hey, Sam. Yeah, no, these guys. Now that I know he's watching, I'm probably not gonna speak so highly of them. But if I'm gonna pretend like he's not watching, but we got to see him on New Year's Eve. We played with them, did a set, and they did a couple sets, and they're so damn tight. Like, you just watch out for this band, man. Sam Lighty Band's gonna blow your freaking face off here soon.
Hell yeah, so, Sam. He said he's gonna send you a hat to Elko, so perfect. I appreciate that, man. I'll wear it proudly.
We'll see if it makes it there.
Lizbeth Bates, my Facebook girlfriend, I think she's in her 60s. She's a very nice lady. I give her a hard time. She
into furries
all the time. See, funny thing is, I posted that picture today about, hey girl, you're inciting a dangerous insurrection in my pants, and she wants to make me a QAnon shaman hat, and I'm all about that shit. She said,
so I kind of inadvertently hit the nail on the head
horns, there. Yeah, she said, "Do you want the horns pointed up or down?" And I said, "You surprise me, and I'll wear it with pride."
Jeez. Oh, please Liz, is it? It's Liz, right?
Lizbeth, yeah.
Lizbeth, if you could have that hat from Matt before January 28th, boy, that would make the world of a difference to a poor little kid like me. If I could make him wear that at Elko.
If that shows up for Elko, we're storming City Hall.
I think they'd just let us in. They'd be like, "Hey, nobody's been here for months."
They don't have to know that, or like the rest of the world doesn't have to know that. We'll say we stormed it.
We stormed it. We stormed it with the crew from the stage door and 6 bottles of Jameson.
That's right. See, I was gonna make another well, happy Insurrection Day, by the way.
Cheers, happy Insurrection Day.
Happy Insurrection Day, and so
a day that has been compared by some to 9/11 or
way worse, worse than 9/11.
Way worse than 9/11.
I mean, like Pearl Harbor is like shit. That's the Whiskey Rebellion compared to Jan 6. Come on.
Yeah, basically, it's like the Boston Tea Party in comparison.
But I was trying to figure out like what, because you can't not talk about January 6th, but I'm trying to find a way to make it funny. So like I'm just gonna turn it into like the new Valentine's Day, Insurrection Day. So like I'm just gonna take I'm gonna Photoshop myself in a bunch of Capitol Hill riot. Like one, I just want to like, hey girl, or hey baby, I wanna storm inside your Capitol building.
Shit, there's a little delay. Sorry, that's. I mean, all right, I'm in on that. So, like, let's expand on that. So, Insurrection Day.
It's like Boxing Day in Canada, except Canada's gay and we're not. So.
Yeah, Canada's pretty unfortunate right now. I upset there.
Well, shout out to Maxime Bernier though. He's a cool guy, leader of the People's Party of Canada. I just interviewed him. He's a really, really cool guy. Freedom, liberty loving fella. Rest of Canada though, I won't say the rest. There's a few good listeners up there. I like. There's a couple really good listeners up there. But man, you guys got to get your shit under control, man.
Isn't that like half your viewer base? Like,
I had like 500 page views from Canada the other day after Maxime retweeted my that episode we did. He's got a big Twitter following apparently, and I went from like 20 page views on my website to 500. I was like, whoa, that's a big jump in traffic.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I was real disappointed to see Coulter Wall cancel all his tour dates, but I understand the message he put out. I understand why, but
I didn't.
You just gotta
read it, but
it was very pragmatic. It was like, hey, if there's gonna be fuckery, then I'm not gonna fuck around. I'm just gonna basically, if it's gonna be really hard to make music, I'm just gonna ranch. So
there you go. Well,
I get it.
I don't blame him.
Cannot fault the man for that, but it really bums me out because still want to see that guy live someday.
Yeah.
It's weird as a musician to look up to somebody younger than you.
Yeah.
I mean,
you would not be looking up to him either. He's like this big.
Is he Maget?
He's a little short fella.
He's a Maget.
But
is he gonna be in your rodeo? Your Maget rodeo?
You cut out there. I didn't.
He's not gonna be in your Maget rodeo?
No, I don't think so. I don't know if I can afford him.
Maybe he could do the national anthem.
Maybe I might be able to afford that. Maybe
he might sing "O Canada" though, and that get weird.
Yeah. Then like you get booed off stage, and then it won't come back. I mean, it'd be a whole thing. But hey, if there's any millionaires out there listening, and you would like to invest in Little People Rodeo, we're looking to start an association. So hit me up. We're looking for some seed money.
Seed money.
Trademark. You cannot steal our Little People Rodeo Association idea. So seed money is all we need.
Little seed money. I'm getting texted by the Sam Lighty band now. Going, thanks for the shout out. Like, you're welcome, Justin.
Hell yeah.
If I knew you were listening, I probably would have shouted out more, but now it's awkward.
Good for you, Justin. Or Jason.
He's the shit.
Jim Bob. Good.
It's funny. So like, can we safely assume that nobody who believes in Santa Claus is listening to this?
Probably so. Like if you believe in like if you believe in Santa Claus and you're listening to my show, I honestly I don't know what to tell you. That's something.
Yeah, we might just contradict ourselves there with the whole alien future talk we had. But my point was being that Justin invited Amanda and I over for Christmas Eve dinner. And once his girls went to bed, I had to repay all of the scotch that I drank in putting together playhouses and fake produce stands for kids. And it got pretty wild. And I don't have kids myself,
so Jason's kind of a shyster, is what you're saying.
Justin? Oh yeah, they filled me full of pancakes and sausage.
Jim Bob, he's
easy on this.
He's a schemer.
Yeah. J Money.
Pavo, I'm about 5'10" on a real good day, somewhere between 5'9" and 5'10".
That's why you wear those big heels.
That's right. Well, and they make my butt look good.
Oh, he does have a good butt, Pavo.
Yeah, it's not big, but it's nice.
It's utilitarian.
I like that. Who you been listening to here lately, Sam? It seems like there's not been, at least on my radar, there hadn't been a whole lot that has come out in like the last 6 months.
I'm, as you know, a creature of habit.
Yeah.
And I dip out into I find somebody I like and I go down the rabbit hole and then they come into my sphere. But last 2 months, man, I've been on a total Kyle Nix and the 38s kick. Like
Kyle Nix is good. I like. I might have to go back and revisit that album.
that Lightning on the Mountain album is like, and this is before I knew Turnpike was coming back. I mean, we all kind of knew, but that Lightning on the like that was filling a void in my life. It still does. I mean, just
let's give credit where it's due. We willed Turnpike back together.
We did.
Multiple times on this show.
I started a band that ripped off one of their songs.
I know. I gave you a hard
I think that
time
visibly
about
pissed them off.
Maybe so. And I told you it would.
Yeah, well, it was like right after we posted a bunch of shit, and I tagged Kyle Nix into it, and then he posted something on Instagram about like all the fake merchandise that's being sold by Chinese people. He's like, when am I going to get some of this money?
Shit. I
remember that.
Yes. So I've got a. Let me get it up here on the screen. But I've got a shirt that I'm gonna have made for the Red Rocks show, and I think you probably have seen it, but I don't know if the audience has or not. And I mean, it might be my best work. But tell a story while I find this,
Sam. Really excited for Turnpike to come back. I've had my thumb on that pulse since I figured out who they were, and I figured out who they were really late in the game. But it didn't take me long, and it didn't take much, acclaim from other people for me to just like fully go headlong into that skid. Because just when I saw them, and you've seen them, and everybody who's seen them knows, they with 7 people, they could fill a freaking room and not step on each other's toes musically. Like you've got lap steel sliding in, you got dual vocals. I mean, and then Felker, who's basically just a statue up there with, between him and his harmonica. Like he sits there and he's like this, and then he's like this.
And he always looks at the ceiling too. Like when he really is into a song, like he'll close his eyes and look up. Like
I used to think that was like an autism thing, but I think it's because of the harmonica, whatever this is. I got this for Christmas.
It may be, but yeah, he's like he's very in the same lane as like a Stoney or all these other Okies like Jason Boland, where they don't do much on stage. They just get up there and sing their songs. But the bands behind them are so freaking good. I mean, like Kyle Nix is one of the best fiddle players out there. Ryan Engelman's one of the best guitar players out there, and they just slide in and out so effortlessly. And it's like the timing is so freaking good. I mean, like that. We talked about it many a time. I think that time when it was me and you and Jake and my brother-in-law, we were talking about just like how good that band is. When I talked with Corb, we were talking about how good their band is.
I believe Corb's comment on that podcast was, that's the best band in country music.
I think so.
And so when Corb said that, he didn't speak in past tense. He said that they have the best. He said Evan has the best band in country music, which is where my, tinfoil hat conspiracy, whatever, like they're coming back. And that was like a year and a half ago. And I just, since then I've been like, they're coming back, but I don't know. When they deleted their Instagram and posted that thing, it was like Thanksgiving or something, but it felt like Christmas.
Oh, I know. Oh. It was funny. It just like Instagram was just a buzz, just like Turnpike. Everybody's like, what's happening? And everybody's like, what's happening? Is it really?
Dude, it's happening. And I mean, you got tickets, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I got me and Ro tickets for Christmas. So we're going to go to the second show. And I will be wearing this shirt right over.
And your insurrection hat, please.
Yes.
Turnpike Troubadours. That's right. Yeah, I forgot what that was. When you sent it, I was like, did I miss a joke? But I didn't miss the joke. I just forgot about it.
Yeah, because yeah, Kyle Nix had said something about everybody ripping off Turnpike
Yeah.
shirts, and I was like, I want to do and make that the only shirt. I'm just gonna have that one shirt made, just so I can, like I'm one of the bigger Turnpike fans out there, but still, I'm also a troll at heart, so got to.
No.
Got to.
Yep, that'll be
Oh,
hilarious.
so
Just tell people you bought it in
um,
the parking lot.
I'll just tell them I made it in the parking lot.
No, be like, oh
There's
yeah,
more where that came from.
I just got this shirt. It was some guy was selling it in the parking lot.
Run by trouble doors. I feel like I need to wear a wizard hat too. Maybe I'll do
No,
like Vermin
wear your
Supreme,
insurrection hat.
The boot. What about a boot like Vermin Supreme? The libertarian guy.
Just throw a muck boot on your head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
I like the
the way to go.
insurrection hat.
Yeah.
I mean, if there flying at the insurrection should have been an Okie flag. I mean, why not? Why not? Oklahoma, stand proud, Oklahoma.
Yeah, they got something going for them for once.
Finally, they got that. How good was Sturgill's latest album, by the way?
Big fan. Big fan. I listened to it once through, and I haven't circled back because it was a storytelling album. I did feel like I've heard all those stories before, but that's just because I am an avid reader of Western fiction. So like Louis L'Amour,
yes,
all that. Like, and I told you guys this in our little Snap group, but yeah, totally. I mean, like some of those stories, like they were really good adaptations of Louis L'Amour stories, I feel like, but I loved it.
He also, he wrote that album in 2 weeks.
Oh, I believe it.
Like start to finish.
I totally believe it.
2 weeks.
Because once you get on a tear when you're writing, like you get 6 or 8 good ideas, and then all you got to do is tell a story. And if you're a good enough storyteller, which he definitely is, you can flesh out
a real good fucking storyteller.
And
Sturgill's
Western
been
music
on a heater since he put out.
Yeah.
He put out that weird ass album, which I won't say it was bad, but it was weird.
Yeah.
It was.
Well,
it was weird. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, the album was fine, but he started talking about how like electric guitar and all this stuff was a thing of the past, and how the future is digital music. And then he just like turns around 180 and makes this like Western
old timey music,
like Marty Robbins style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's probably his best work since like that first album that really took off,
Yeah.
Like the one before Turtles All the Way Down. Like when they call me the king up here on Shit Mountain. If you want it, you can have the crown. That album that like really put him on the map. I thought that was his best work until Dude and Juanita. That was so good.
Dude, Juanita's such a good freaking. Oh man.
And that's his grandparents' name too, which it makes it even cooler.
That's awesome. Yeah, he
and then they did.
And I feel like ever
song.
since that King of Shit Mountain or King of Turd Mountain, whatever version you heard, I feel like that album got him a lot of really good thumbs ups and a lot of nods, but people were still like, "Oh, this guy just wants to be Waylon Jennings," and he sounds like Waylon Jennings, so he's gonna be, and like even Waylon Jennings' son is trying not to sound like Waylon Jennings, so like.
Yeah.
He's trying to do something that hasn't been done, but he got on the map by doing something, that he arguably wanted to do, but had still been done. So his bluegrass album was a really good step out. Even though it was basically bluegrass.
Double.
Yeah. It was like adaptations of bluegrass too. If you listen to the music, like all of those songs could be any genre, the way that they were written. but the way they were produced, fantastic textbook bluegrass album. And then this newest album, like he really stepped out and did something raw, and that's pretty cool.
And it was fucking awesome. Like my kids know that Sam song by heart. Sam. And
good.
That's a freaking awesome song, and it rips, dude. Like that song freaking rips, and it is nothing but vocals.
Yeah, I know he's spot on the whole
he
time.
He killed that one. Yeah, and I loved his bluegrass covers because it was just all his old songs done bluegrass, and the band that he had backing him on that was so freaking good.
Yeah,
like those guys could play. Chris Friel, he's my Marine buddy. He's coming up to Elko, so we'll see you there, man.
Sweet, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm bringing a buddy, a Marine buddy with me too. I'm not a Marine, but I got a buddy who's a Marine, and I'll have to introduce you guys. His name's Dylan Miller. He's the shit. He lives in Boise. We're gonna stay at his house, and he's gonna hop in with us and roll down to Elko.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. It's
you like
it's cool. We got listeners coming up to the show this year, so I'm
hell
stoked about that.
It's gonna be a good time.
Ready to shake some hands, tell some jokes, tell some stories.
Just be the
life
of the party,
guitar like it owes him money.
Yeah, I'm bringing a cheaper guitar this time. That one guitar I've broken like twice now because I'm just too freaking hard on it. So I bought a cheaper one to play out.
Like he was calling his guitar anti-Semitic slurs at one point, and but, I mean it sounded really, really good.
Is this the part where I put in my disclaimer where I say like, "Hey,
this is a comedy show. This is a comedy show.
I'm not a comedian. I'm a musician, but Matt likes to make fun of the fact that I look like what Hitler wanted the world to look like."
Yes, and I let's be 100% honest. I am half Mexican and still far more racist than Sam McCue.
Yeah, easily. I married Mexican.
Yeah,
so not racist.
Yeah, so.
But did you ever do one of those 23andMe's? See what kind of mutt you are?
My little sister did. A lot of Spaniard, a little bit of Indian blood, but doesn't specify. So I'm guessing it's Spaniard, Indian, Mexican Indian blood. I would imagine, but
okay.
Yeah.
I want to do one too. I've gotten over myself. I figured
just comes back and says white.
Yeah, it's like
just
Scandinavian. There's a lot of Irish in there, but I don't know. There's some other stuff probably.
Yeah,
but mostly I want to do it to see if there's any if I have any long lost relatives, because none of my family have done one. Nobody wants to, and so I'm like, all right, well maybe I'll be the one to pop the lid with the chromosome, and people can link me to my parents or not. I don't think my parents have any illegitimate kids, but there might be somebody in my family that does. Lady says I'm 50% snow. Nice. Yeah. 50% snow. Lady, our freaking county is 50% snow right now. So.
Ours is finally drying up. We got a bunch of snow here a couple of weeks ago, and it's been just a soupy mess. But
hence the 2 feet of shit at your work.
Yeah, it's been fun, but we've been really busy. We've been shipping cattle out and shit, but somebody said Sam finds out he's adopted.
I'm watching the comments too. That's funny because you would, if you'd known my family, you'd know that I'm not adopted, but I've thought about it before, but I just look too damn much like my mom's dad. Oregon.
You need to get your ass down to Elko. It'll be a fun time.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about.
The Wilsons are from up there somewhere around your way. Give them a holler. They'll I'm sure Matt will strap you to the top or something and give you a ride.
Out on that homesteading territory, nobody will find the body.
That's right. Pretty sure Matt can get a hold of Claude Dallas.
I'm pretty sure I saw Matt using a payphone the other day. So that's where the Wilsons are at.
But you also never know if that was a bit. Like their whole life is a bit, but but you never. It goes in and out. You never know. Like it's a wonder we didn't get out of Stockman's cafe there that Friday when the Wilsons rolled in. Before we even this was the first time that all of us had met in person, and my word, how we didn't get kicked out of there, and there was no booze involved, like not a drop of booze at the time, and we were just laughing and having a good time.
It was like 2:30 in the afternoon. We were like 6 cups of coffee in. And they're only customers. They're not going to kick us out.
You got a lot of looks.
I'm used to that, and not in a good way.
Well, and then I think if you hang out with the Wilsons, you have to get used to it because they're not quiet people.
They're some of my favorite people in the world.
Oh man,
hanging out with them is like a nonstop roller coaster of humor.
Oh, it's just a hoot.
Old Wampus has got to be half Amish looking at the shit he posts. You know?
Well, yeah, that's about right.
Amish, no, but I would say very traditional.
Mm-hmm. Very much, yeah. They're very self-sufficient. Yeah, they're just
you want to meet,
people, man.
If you want to meet anybody more resilient in your life, you won't find them more resilient than the Wilson clan. Jeez.
No, man, that was so like the show that we put on last year. It was just, me and you talked about it, at pretty good length about kind of what we wanted to do, and it's supposed to be simple, and it was. But then, like at one point, we had Rachel sing the national anthem just because she sings really well, and she nailed it, and. We got Roe up on stage and sang. It was really just kind of like, I don't know. This seems like a good idea right now, and it kind of worked. So,
my favorite part of last year was when the show was over, and then the venue opened it up to open mic, and Magic Mike grabs the mic, and I did write a song about this that I'm planning to sing. This
stream of consciousness.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes. It was a 10-minute set. It was a 5-minute set that was 10 minutes long. I only
started recording it. Because I got a 5-minute video of it, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, it was about double that.
I didn't start recording when he got up there. I kind of started recording halfway through because he was telling jokes, and he did have one or two that got a little chuckle. Like they weren't great jokes, but they were just like, you're like, huh, all right.
But remember when he just like. And he just went out of the comedy and went into like Simple Man.
Simple Man, a cappella.
He just sang Simple Man. It was like comedy.
Then back into his. Yeah, and then back into a story, and then wasn't he singing Clapton at one point?
I might have tuned him out at that point because the bar owner was behind the bar going like this.
Room. Yeah.
And I ran back into the green room and I was like, Rachel, you got your fiddle, right? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, do you know Wagon Wheel? And she's like, yeah, I hate that song. I was like, me too. But that's the only thing that's going to get this asshole off the stage is if we get the whole crowd singing a different song that everybody knows. So she plugs in and we go out there and we just start playing Wagon Wheel. And that's the first time I've ever willingly played Wagon Wheel for free. And he's like, oh, I see what you fuckers are doing, and he drops the mic and he walks off stage and
he
goes he should have been. We were pretty rude to him, but he honestly was a glutton for punishment. So
he had it coming. He was and I won't even say that he bombed because people were too shocked for him to bomb. They were just like,
they were pity laughing at him, man.
Well, they were just kind of like, what is going on?
It was just like a stream of consciousness from his brain.
Uh-huh.
It was bizarre. Very bizarre.
You know who loved it though? Wes McKinley loved every minute of that.
Your old man.
Wes McKinley set that whole thing up. My dad and his buddy, two old fucks, they drove all the way from eastern Colorado. It took them 2.5 days, and they drove all the way up to Elko. And when we rolled in, me and Sam and my wife, we rolled into the Stockmans, and my dad and Ron were waiting down in the lobby with us. And my dad said, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you, Sam. Have you met Magic Mike?" and he pawned him off onto us.
Yeah,
and he got the most amount of joy of anybody all weekend, just laughing at how ridiculous Magic Mike was and how he had pawned him off onto us.
And the interesting thing to me is that he got the nickname Magic Mike before we realized that he was just doing like a quarter of a mushroom every 2 hours.
Yeah, he was really into the mushrooms.
Yeah,
really
into big fan. He offered me some, and I politely declined. But that was the point where I realized that this guy's stream of consciousness was coming from a different universe.
Yeah, he was on definitely a different dimension.
So I wrote a song about him a year ago, right after I got back, and
hell yes,
I'm busting that shit out, even if nobody gets it, but you, me, and the bartender.
Oh, you know what I am gonna miss, because it'd been awesome. Like, you play that, and then Jake could follow it up with "Wet Bird Don't Fly at
Wet
Night."
Bird. Oh, I want to hear that song again, man.
I know it. Jake's not gonna make it this year. He's headed up to Pendleton to learn how to make an even cooler pair of boots than he already makes with a guy that mentors him. So I was like, man,
good for him.
Yeah, you got a lot more chance to make money off of that than you do playing for the Burning Daylight shows. So go do that.
Yeah, which is a shame, because it's like the dead of January. Nobody's doing nothing. And that's why Cowboy Poetry is put in the dead of January. And of course, Jake's got something better to do, but
I know.
He is a pretty cool guy. He probably doesn't need to hang out with us.
So and he's super stoked about it too.
I bet.
Like,
dude,
he said it's like some really old school traditional shit that like nobody does anymore. So like, fuck yeah, go get it, Jake. But
the shit that's coming out of his shop too is insane. I actually recommended somebody to him the other day. I don't know if they reached out, but they were looking for like a pair of Lucchese's or something, but they wanted a specific. And I was like, "What? Check this guy's Instagram out, Jake Houston. He'll get you what you want."
If you're gonna spend the money on Lucchese's, you might as well spend them on Jake Houston.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. It's
about
like
the same price, and you get them exactly what you want.
Oh, you can get them custom for the same price, which it's something Lucchese doesn't want you to know. So
yeah, Jake Houston, he's a big old goober, but I love that guy. He can play some music. He knows how to hold a crowd. And he's just an artist all the way around. And just a good dude, just a really good dude. I'm a big fan of Jake Houston.
Well, getting to play with him last year was definitely a treat. And I love those. The way you set up the event last year was really cool, because I just love being on stage with other talented, like very talented people, and just getting to watch them in their element from the side too, like getting to see, getting to watch them here and watch down there and see, and just for me, it's like I'm in class, I'm taking notes. So,
and me, I'm the guy that can't hold back. So like, when he's like holding the note or something, I gotta chip in there. It's like, woo, yeah, get it. It's cool. I really enjoyed that format. Just everybody doing their thing, is kind of one at a time, and just it's a laid back show, and that's what it's going to be this year. And it's a simple show, but it's going to be fun. We're going on 8 to 10 Friday and Saturday at the Stage Door. And then we're recommending everybody go to the Star right after. They're going to start
I'll be
around
there.
10:30, something like that.
Yeah.
Outside Circles putting on their show. Actually, Justin messaged me today. He said he's got a few people that are looking to do some like open mic type stuff, and that's not what they're doing over there at the Star, but he's going to send them my way. And so we may have a few extra guests come in and play a song or two, whatever. We're open to it. I'm sure you're open to it, Sam, but like we're just trying to we're just trying to do poetry,
Oh yeah,
poetry's been
I'm
doing.
all
We were
in.
the only live show last year, and I'm glad we're not this year. Like I'm ready to go see
I
some
am
other
too.
people too.
Yeah, it was really
Don't
fun
get me
last
wrong.
year to
We're gonna burn that bitch down, but I'm ready to go see some other people too.
Yeah, and that's why like we're doing 8 to 10 because we're doing the early show, so folks can come in, grab a drink, full bar. It's a club. The stage door is a club, and people can come in, hang out, relax, listen to a good guitar pull, poetry pull, and we'll have we don't disappoint. We know that, but the the best part about it is like when that's done, I'm putting my stuff in the rig in the truck, and I'm going over to the Star. I'm having a pecan, and I'm gonna watch the pros do it. That's what I'm excited about. So
like we got a 2 good nights of entertainment there in Elko. I don't know what else is gonna. I don't know the Folk Life Center's gonna do something or other, and I'm sure it's gonna be good. I know Dave Stamey and Waddy's playing, so good for them. I hope.
Oh, Stamey's gonna be around.
Yep. Yes, he is. So like there's stuff going on. People are going to be in Elko. So if you're going to be in Elko, it's good. come to the stage door. It's a $10 cover. It'll be worth your time, I promise. We're going to have some raffles.
I've spent more on less.
Have some. We're going to have like a 50-50 raffle. We're going to do some silent auctions. We're going to have a live auction. Partner Jordan's going to come in and do the auctioneering for us. I think Matt Wilson's going to make some, and I think Tracy Morrison's going to make something to auction off as well. We got a comment here. I was trying to read that.
Y'all just want to get drunk and bullshit in public and have it be socially accepted. Adam, I live in Idaho.
You're 100% right.
I live in Idaho.
Guy. Yes. It's
still accepted to do that here. We party like it's 2018.
This is Nevada, baby. There is alcohol 24 hours a day, and Elko County's got Hooters too. So,
what surprised me, and this has nothing to do with Hooters, was how quickly it became 5 a.m. one of those nights.
Yeah, it does happen rather fast, don't it?
Which, when you come from a state that's like, 2:00, last call's at 1:45. Yeah, you kind of get it programmed
Nevada,
to wait for that.
They're like, last call? What the fuck are you talking about?
There is no last call. It's just tomorrow.
Yeah.
We go from whatever you were drinking to Bloody Marys real quick.
Yeah. We went from night drinking to day drinking. Sorry, this is day drinking hours.
Sun's up. Here's a brass monkey.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is Bloody Mary time. You can drink whiskey later.
I can say that Roe pounded on my door at whatever time it was in the morning going, "Get up!" was very, I was, best alarm in the world.
That was a long drive back to Reno.
I wish I was awake for it.
It was a long one. Either way, it was that was a fun weekend. I can't wait for this year. I'm looking forward to it so much. And yes, Adam Drake, we want to get drunk and bullshit in public and have it socially accepted because this is America. God damn it.
We've been known to.
Yes. That's what cowboy poetry was supposed to be. Is like it's like the one time during the winter when all the cowhands got together and had a good time, and it got rowdy as it tends to do with the cowhands.
It's a representative.
We're saying, hey, it can still be that way. So let's do it.
Well, the opportunity we had last year was fun because
No,
there was nothing going
seriously,
on.
huge shout out to the stage door. They were the
Yeah,
only ones that was willing to have us, and they just wanted something. They're
they
just
just
like
want anything.
we need some entertainment, and you guys are good enough. And then we're like, we showed up, and they're like, hey, you guys are actually pretty good. I mean, like you guys, not me. You guys are pretty good. I told a few jokes, but
They enjoyed the whole thing. I think.
yeah,
They
I
wanted
think
us
so.
back immediately. Which, okay,
Yeah,
this is starting to turn into humble bragging, but really, what it is we're really excited that the effort that we put in made an impact for somebody. That's
yeah.
all it is.
Well, I just it was 36 years for the Cowboy Poetry Gathering last year, and they did it all online, and I understand why.
I get it.
We didn't. We
No,
we we did we did it live, and we were the only ones.
and
And
there's
then
no
this year,
power like the human connection in person. That's the way we were meant to be. Like I know
yeah,
I met you over the internet. You're my fake internet friend. But when we met finally for the first time at Jesse Stetson's wedding, like it solidified everything.
yeah,
There's no
like
power like the human connection.
right. You get a handshake, you give a hug, and you tell stories and laugh. Like just sitting around those campers there at Stetson's, like you and Amanda playing guitar, and like Amanda and Rose singing while you were playing guitar. Like that was so much fun. And
And
that's
Jesse
kind of
missed
what
out
it
on
felt
all of it.
like. I know it. And well, he missed out on Elko last year too.
Sorry, Adams from Wyoming. I'm doing comments at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, I
Um,
see it now.
yeah. I know, and Jesse missed out on all of it. It was fun. It was like my favorite kind of way to play guitar. Kind of how I started playing guitar. Just like somebody around a trailer,
Yeah,
a
well, that's
bale
that's the best.
with a dummy head in on it, and just playing, just doing what I know, them doing what they know, people
See
clapping, drinking.
that's how this podcast started. Was hearing stories around a trailer, around a campfire, a bunch of
Hmm.
cowhands telling stories, and like those stories that you'd never hear except around the campfire. People get to tell them on this podcast, and that's the best part about it for me is getting to pass those stories on, and
Totally.
like there's people in the city that have never seen a cow, that have heard Scott Hall talk about chasing wild horses or something. Got to hear Boots talking about driving the wagon, almost crashing, or I guess he did crash a wagon while trying to when they tried to stampede across the river. That's
Pretty cool that you got to have a one-on-one with Boots.
I
Multiple.
still I talk to Boots every week.
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, not it's sad but true that he's going to be, when he passes, he's going to be like John Prine. Everybody's going to talk about him.
Yep.
But and I'm not waiting for that day to come. I'm not like wishing for it to come, but I just kind of thought about that the other day. I was like, man, he's like the John Prine of cowboying.
Well, he's John Prine. He's Forrest Gump, but he's got all of his wits. Like, what I mean? Like he's got the same stories that Forrest Gump has, but like he's not a dummy. He'll tell you he's a dummy. He's not. But yeah, like that's one of the coolest things. Like on Thanksgiving and Christmas, my two phone calls first thing in the morning was Wes McKinley and Boots O'Neill. And
Sam. Why not
yeah,
Sam?
and so, well, you got about 60 years of living to do yet.
You just take me for granted. That's what it is, man.
Well, that might be true. I didn't call you, but I know I talked to you on.
We
both
talk
Thanksgiving
every
and
day.
Christmas. Yeah, but that's that's a pretty good little call list on the holidays. Wes McKinley and Boots O'Neill. It's
I'm gonna talk to Wes McKinley the next holiday. What is it? Veterans Day? What do we got next?
Go for it. I'll send you his number. He'll love the shit out of it.
Well, I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna pretend to be Magic Mike though.
Oh, do it. He'll he'll know something is up. He'll know it ain't Magic Mike, but
He's sharp.
yeah, but yeah, that's another one where like I was going to Nick's wedding. I was gonna I was performing Nick's wedding, and I was flying into Garden City, and I was like, you know what? That's not too far from Dallas. It's only like 6 hours, 8 hours, something like that.
Mhm.
So I was like, meh, I don't know. I'll go down to the Four Sixes. It turned into a shit show of a trip. I mean, it was a real shit show, but that was a cool like almost 24 hours down at the Four Sixes. It was
Oh yeah.
really it was really cool. I got I just my and the recording sucked. The recording that I made talking to Boots, it was like 3 hours of bullshitting. It sucks. I've tried to clean it up so many times, and there's just only so much you can do because it's hardwood floors, no carpets anywhere. There's nothing to deaden the echo.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want to mic. I didn't want to mic him up because I wanted him to be comfortable, and I just wanted to talk. And
I get it.
it was
Yeah.
fucking cool. I got to do it, and not many people get to do that.
No, and he's like.
And I've had to turn down like 4 or 5 people that wanted to talk to him. You can get a hold of Boots, and yeah, I do, but you got to do it the same way I did. I'm not giving out his number.
Yeah, you won't make the same mistake when you accidentally Snapchatted me Corblund's number.
Yeah, it's true.
I have not
was
used it.
Well, I don't know if it works anymore. He hasn't.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I don't still have that. For some
haven't-
reason, I lost it. So
He hasn't texted me back in a while, so either he used to.
bummer, man.
Yeah, so I don't know if
He's blowing up.
he is blowing up. I wouldn't be surprised if he changed his number, but
If we're going full circle to the music thing again,
yeah, let's do it.
so Corblund and Jason Bolin have been fascinating me lately.
Oh yeah.
In separate ways. One, Corblund, he's been doing this longer than I've been alive, and he's been doing it really well. And he really hasn't changed much, other than just the stories he tells, things like that.
Mhm.
And he's now picking up a lot of frickin' speed, and he hasn't changed anything really, so to speak. I mean, recording quality, stuff like that, but like
Yeah.
his style, anything like that, he hasn't changed.
He's went a little bit more activist on like the environmental side here lately, but like nothing,
Yeah, I know.
But like nothing crazy, you know.
That's a very that's a good place where I can say that I still appreciate him, and I disagree with a lot of the things he says. Not all of them, but a lot of things. And that's America should be that way.
I agree with the spirit that he's coming from. I don't necessarily, I haven't listened to all of his arguments much, but I come from that kind of environmental background. I know you do too. Like we're we're not greenies by any means, but we also like come on, like I'm
Right.
like if somebody's leaving shit in the campground out in the backwoods, like that shit pisses me off.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't even like those freaking those like stone things.
Yeah.
The things that people leave everywhere. Fucking hate those.
Yeah.
I kick them down everywhere I go. I hate them. If anybody here puts those up and I go to hike or ride a horse into wherever you're at, just know that I'm gonna kick the shit out of that thing.
Yeah.
Big threat, Sam.
Do we need to go to Patreon now so Sam can go on a rant?
No, not yet. There's still people here that won't pay for your bullshit.
That's true. There's a lot of people that don't pay for my bullshit, and they should. God damn it!
I pay for your bullshit. You pay for my bullshit.
I pay for your bullshit. It evens out.
My point being is like, so I didn't want to get too far off on a political tangent there, but he's picking up, and what also is fascinating me is Jason Bolin is picking up in a big way right now.
Good.
And he's been at it for God knows how long, just like Corb.
Yeah,
But he played the Opry a couple months ago, maybe for the
I
first
saw
time,
that.
first time
Yeah,
ever, and it's all due to him just like his new album, and he wrote it about kind of like extraterrestrial stuff.
yeah.
So it's a Texas country spin on like you know extraterrestrial. It's like he's Tom
See, I'm
DeLonge
gonna
from
have to
Blink
take a bone
182.
with you there. That's not a Texas country spin. That's a red dirt spin. Bowling is
Oh,
Oklahoma through and through.
yeah, it's all the same to me. But I'm from
Eh.
the Northwest, so
Yeah, Mexico are crazy. That's all the same to me. That's
if we had
Michigan,
a
motherfucking Bowling.
if Montana and Idaho had like a country music export, maybe I'd be a little more party line.
Mm,
But it's pretty
no, I
much
just
a couple of us, and the Canadians take credit for Montana at this point.
yeah. I see. I grew up close enough to the scene. The Okies are a little more on. Like they spend a little more time on the lyrics, and like the Texans spend a little more time rocking. Like they get a little more rock influence, and don't get me wrong, they got some really fucking good songwriters. I mean, Robert Earl's one of my favorites of all time. Randy Rogers, Roger Krager. I love the Texas guys, but like when you just look at the sheer body of work coming out of Oklahoma, like Boland, Bob Childers, Stoney LaRue, Evan Felker, the Damn Quails, Bo Phillips. I mean, just fucking heavy hitter. Mike McClure, like, goddamn, dude. No
Mike
justice.
McClure he's another one of those underappreciated
Oh
or
yeah,
under-recognized right now. I
yeah.
mean, you listed off those named people, and like everybody, yeah, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And then you said Mike McClure. Fucking that guy is phenomenal.
Dude, Mike McClure is one of the godfathers. They came up with, he came up with Great Divide there in Stillwater. That's the Great Divide is who introduced me to Red Dirt music. Great Divide opened for Chris Ledoux at Cheyenne, or not Cheyenne, Guyman Frontier Days when I was in high school, and yeah, that's the shit that got me introduced, like from Great Divide. Then I got introduced to Cross Canadian Ragweed. I got introduced to Bolin. I got introduced to Reckless. Like that opened that whole fucking scene to me, and like
Yeah.
that's all I did in college was like I was a proselytizer of the Red Dirt scene up in Fort Collins, Colorado. I was like the little Mormon missionary, except I was preaching Ragweed and Reckless Kelly.
And not special underwear, but underwear with stains.
I mean, I had plenty of special underwear, just depending on who was giving them to me.
I had plenty of special underwear hanging from my bedposts.
That's right. Goddamn. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
The Cody Canada you brought up. I've been watching him a lot lately, just because I, especially during the pandemic, I watched the people that were still trying to make fucking things work instead of just, like the people that were like rich enough to be like, I'm just gonna wait it out. But like Cody Canada, not saying he's not well off or hasn't used his money wisely or anything, but he's got the bug, right? Like he wants to keep playing. And he did cancel some shows.
That dude is,
but
and that's another thing about those. Well, just that Texas Oklahoma scene. What makes it so much different than like your traditional Nashville scene, and that's why like people like Childers and Sturgill don't fit into that scene either. Is
they want to?
Well,
or I don't know what they want, but they appear as though they would like to.
Well, I think it's more of a geography thing. They're like Childers and Sturgill, both from Kentucky, which is right there by, like that's a ways from Austin. Whereas but the Oklahoma Texas guys, it was all about the music. It wasn't about like getting plays on the radio. It was getting a reaction from the crowd. Like they're live bands first.
Yeah.
And you can tell like every Boland album, it sounds good. Like the studio album sounds good, but you hear them play it live and you're like, oh, I get it now. Like you hear that shit live and you're just like, oh, I get it. Like they bring it up a notch. And I saw it was a Red Dirt concert, but it was like it was some Nashville guy. The guy that sang "Crazy Girl." Like I know he didn't write it, but who sang "Crazy Girl"?
Oh no, they're
No. That was Eli Young. It was
they're originally Red Dirt.
yeah, not them. It was not Crazy Girl. Fuck. It was like
I used to sing that song about my ex-girlfriend.
Brantley Gilbert or some shit like that. It was one of those types. I don't think it was Brantley Gilbert, but it was somebody along the same lines.
Cody Johnson, maybe?
No, it was a Nashville guy. Cody Johnson started out in Texas. But it was a sure enough Nashville guy. It was something like Brantley Gilbert. And like he got on there and like he was the headliner, you know. And his show, like, and he also had to follow Casey Donahue, which I don't know if you ever seen Casey Donahue live, but that dude burns it the fuck down. Like he's good live.
He's another one that's been doing it long enough. That,
he's a hard act to follow, but let me tell you, this guy was not up for it. Like his show was so flat, and then. Who came on after him for like the after party was Stoney LaRue, and he was like, "Why is there this velvet rope up here?" And they're like, "That's the VIP." He's like, "Fuck that, get up here!" And so like everybody flooded up to the stage, and Stoney burned it down. Like, but that
was probably more violent than the Capitol Hill riots.
Oh, easily, I was there. But it's just like that's the difference between like the Texas Red Dirt scene versus Nashville country. Like there's no energy in those shows. Like it doesn't matter how big the crowd is for those Red Dirt guys, they're gonna play to the crowd, and you're gonna feel like there's 1,000 people there because they're just into it.
Yeah, I mean, even if there's 25, even if there's 10 people in the room that just want to hear music. And just want to fucking listen.
Yeah,
you feel it, man. You feel it.
That's what I always loved about that scene. It was always about just like playing the show. It wasn't about an album. You know, they'd be like, hey, you know, buy the new album. But then they would fucking shred a song off their new album. Like they didn't just hey, you know, I got a new album out. No, it's like here's what I'm playing, and they would play it like that was the only song that mattered.
You know, I got a buddy of mine, Ben Vogel, and I were talking about it because, you know, it's inevitable. You're going to play gigs where there's just not that many people there. Maybe the venue doesn't promote. Maybe you don't promote enough. Maybe whatever it is. And there's like 2, 3, 10, 20 people. And you get there and it's almost more you almost can have more fun when the crowd's not into it at first, because you can do whatever the hell you want. The bar is set here. The bar is set right here. But
then you can just be Norm Macdonald, and you just like try to get him back on your side.
Yeah, I mean, you can just do whatever you want, and if you do what you do the best, and they're still not into it, then that's not your audience, man.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about
just be Norm Macdonald, and you just explain the jokes until they laugh, and then
to Norm.
Yeah, that dude was a fucking legend. Oh, Betty White as well.
Oh, to Betty.
God damn it! Like, you know, she was like, "Fuck off, you guys are idiots. I'm done here. I am done here."
I mean,
that's
regardless.
How it felt to me. I was just like, she hung on for this whole time, and she finally was like, nope, you guys, I can't even with you guys. I'm out. I am fucking out. And you know what? I can't blame her.
God bless her. God bless her.
You know, I was just thinking of, and you know, and then John Madden died like 2 days beforehand. I was like, my God, if you think Norm Macdonald, Betty White, and John Madden. Like, try to find another trio of people that are just universally beloved.
And I thought about that too. Like
within a year,
you and I are we're in the same decade, right? Like, so
Mhm.
we're in our 30s, and we're watching all these people we grew up watching, looked up to die and pass away. And it's like, this is the year where you watch this is the decade where you watch our heroes die or become
Right.
immortalized, right? It's not your 20s. It's not, it's your 20s is where they become your heroes, and your 30s is where you watch all your heroes die.
Well, I know it was like 2 years ago. I say it was here in about a month, I guess. It was 2 years ago. Joe Diffie died. Remember we did
Mm,
the Joe Diffie tribute
mm.
show, and then that was like
That one
like
still hasn't set right.
a couple weeks, or I don't even know if it was a couple weeks, like a couple days
That one
later
hit
when
me
I
harder
interviewed.
than John Prime.
Yeah, and then I interviewed Corb, and Corb couldn't have cared less, and I was like, I
Dude,
feel like
but
such a
but
nerd.
he probably didn't, like, it was probably so outside his,
Well, that's
like,
what he was saying. He's like he couldn't even stand Garth, and I was like, I'm kind of a music snob, but like I would never say I didn't like Garth. Like
Nick
I'm not
Lutwood.
saying like he's the best musician songwriter on earth, but that dude he had some hits and
I mean, I'll
he had some
respect it.
bangers.
I'll respect it from somebody who grew up when Garth was popping off, But like,
Yeah.
when you and I get old, and I tell people, no, Blake Shelton's a piece of shit, I don't want to get ridiculed for it.
No, fuck that. I
But
was
Garth,
never I was a
big fan.
fan of one Blake Shelton song. And it's not a good enough song that I will die on that hill. But you're telling me Colin Baton Rouge ain't a fucking banger?
Oh,
That's where I draw
we
the line,
we
motherfucker.
we play a lot of Garth songs just because, obviously people love him for a reason, and we love him.
But
Like, and when you
I
get into the
will.
music of his songs, like, they're actually pretty damn complex.
Yeah.
So
But I'll give Corb credit. He's a hellacious songwriter. Writes some of the most intricate songs out there, and so I'll respectfully disagree with him on Garth. And I'm still a huge fan. Like that dude can write a fucking song. Like
yeah, and
Living
even if
Like
he
the
doesn't,
Gambler, that whole album, like A Game in Town Like This, that's I could listen to that song on loop.
mm-hmm. Unanswered Prayers is one that gave, like, when you're young, you don't have wisdom, but you look for it. And
Yeah.
that song, Unanswered Prayers, gave me a lot of wisdom that I needed in my 20s.
Yes, sir.
Just,
All right. Well, let's wrap that up for the main show. I got to take a leak, and then we'll come back do a little bit for the Patreon folks.
the Patreons for the, yeah.
All right. Well, everybody else, move your ass. We're burning
One last
Oh, go ahead.
plug here. Come to Elko, January,
Yes.
end of January,
28th,
29th
29th.
and 9th. Because we're going to be down there, and
Stage door, 8
the
to
town
10
will still be
PM.
standing afterwards, but we're going to be having a good time. And
Barely. It might be smoldering, but
I'm bringing a whole mess of brand new songs that are going to be released at that show. So
fuck yeah. The Burning Daylight Bull session will be Sam McCue, the Wampus Wilsons, Eric Shields, myself, and we may have a few extra guests.
I'm going to try and get Kenny Fiddler there.
Shit yeah.
I'm going to slide into his DMs.
Fuck yeah. And on that note, move your ass. We're burning